Spore Necromancer in the battle. Additionally, all your zombies resistant to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage, and poison resistant. Hey, and Matches Adventures, welcome to the world of Baldur's Gate 3. It's me, the Spot King, and today we dive in deep into creating awesome character class. Would you please make an optimal multi-class character, Spore Druid first and Necro second, a class control character that strictly relies on minions to do damage, so his roles are strictly about buffing his minions, but he can also throw some alterations and debuff spells, plus some dot. So, thank you for donation and let's create this character. We got Druid and Wizard. And we're starting with Druid, and that's like totally correct thing to do. Because if you're starting as a Wizard, Necro Wizard, you got proficiency in basically nothing. And when you're building this character who relies on damage from his minions, and if you want to buff them, you need to be in the battle, so you need good armor and other stuff. That's why starting as Druid is a nice idea. Because we get light armor, medium armor and shield proficiency, that's everything we need. In addition, you need to decide, do you want to attack from the distance? So we're definitely starting as Druid, but our starting race should be Drow, because when we concentrating on one of the spells, most of other spells that are doing control and dot style stuff, they require your concentration, so you will be left without cool bonus actions most of the time. That's why picking Drow as race of choice is a nice idea, to have double hand crossbow, so you can basically inflict some damage from the distance after you finished your combinations of dot spells and control spells and minion enhancement spells. So another good races for this type of character could be like Gold Dwarf to get more hit points. In my opinion, it's a nice idea to have on Wizard Druid multi-class. But basically this build that I will show you today will work on almost anyone. But for today we're picking Drow. And that's our Spore Druid Necromancer. So to start out, we're going with Drow, Lodsworn Drow, with Druid class with 2 cantrips. Best starting cantrips for Druid will be Shillelagh and Thorn Whip. But we can definitely go and play into our class with, for example, Poison Spray instead of Shillelagh, and to rely on our cantrip to do damage. For background it doesn't matter, you can pick whatever you like, but especially for this build, Sage and Guild Artisan will work nice. So for skill distribution again, it doesn't matter too much for our build, but ability distribution is important. So I would say for this build especially, you need to have 2 ability point allocations. First one is early game. When you're starting as Druid, especially as a Circle of the Spores Druid, you want to have high wisdom to make your spells so reliable and making nice damage. And then nice dexterity and constitution. So I would start with something like 16 dexterity, like 14 constitution, 17 in wisdom, and just plus 2 into intelligence, charisma or strength. It doesn't matter too much. So that will be like nice start of the game Druid. That will do a lot of damage and have nice start. For prepared spells, we go with Entangle, Fairy Fire, Healing Word, and Long Strider. So let's go into the game. In the early game you got this Poison Spray to make like close distance damage in cantrip, really nice one. If you need higher distance, you need to pull up your targets to yourself, use Thorn Whip, that's your another cantrip. And with this type of Druid we will rely on cantrips to do damage. If you need to heal your teammates, use Healing Word as bonus action or yourself. Most of the time you will use it to heal your teammates that are downed, so they can get up instantly without using action. Very nice to have skill. Long Strider, you can cast it at the start of the day on a whole team to have more movement speed in battle. And Fairy Fire. When you see a lot of enemies, you cast Fairy Fire on them, and you and your teammates will have advantage on attack rolls. So next up, if you got enemies that got pretty low strength, you can press Examine on enemy, check out the strange ability number, and if it's high enough, like 14, 16 or higher, then better use Fairy Fire, because it uses dexterity saving throw. But most of the time, if enemies got high dexterity, they will have low strength, so you just examine them. If they got low strength, and you want to disable them, use Entangle on single or just multiple enemies in the area, just like that. You cast it and everyone will be entangled. When enemies entangled, they can't move and attack rolls against them have advantage. So very nice stuff to have, because Poison Spray using attack roll too. So that's basically early game strategy. Next up, we're leveling up. So basically we're starting on second level with Circle of the Spore Druid, and instead of going into wild shapes of animals, we can use our wild shape charges to gain symbiotic entity to deal additional necrotic damage while we get this stuff. Get a nice damaging range cantrip, Bone Chill, very cool cantrip, and Halo of Spores. We can use our reaction to do additional little damage, but it will be doubled if we got this symbiotic entity active. So how many levels we want to have in Spore Druid actually to make this multi-class? I will say 6. So this is actually very hard to make, because first of all, Druid and Wizard got different attributes to cast their spells. Druid goes with Wisdom, Wizard goes with Intelligence. That's like most hardest part here. And next up, our main and coolest parts comes pretty lately. So Spore Druid, I guess most coolest part is like Circle of Spores, comes at level 10, but getting 2 levels in Wizard got no sense basically, because you won't have anything cool from Wizard. That's why we're getting at the best breaking point in each class. So for Spore Druid it will be level 6. Until level 6 we want to have these spells from level 2. We want to have Spike Growth, we want to have Hold Person and Moonbeam later. And basically Druid know all his spells, so you can change spells if you want to, but I show you spells that I will use in this build. So cantrip at level 4 could be Guidance, just nice cantrip to have in your game, and level 4 we get in our feats. So my feat of choice for this style would be Ability Improvement and getting more Wisdom. Why we getting this Wisdom up to 19 and why we starting with 17? Because it's optimized build videos. So I recommend to going in if you want to make this build fully optimized and getting this +1 into Wisdom from Auntie Antel. But just for now, we want to have around 20 Wisdom at this level, at level 5, and we could possibly do it. So when you're exploring Act 1, you can finish Act 1 at around level 5 with like full clear, or level 6. So level 5, we're getting a lot of cool spells from level 3, but most importantly, finally we're getting our Animate Dead. And today we want to make build focused on this zombie army, basically summons and other guys. So from race we get in Darkness, and before we got from race Fairy Fire, so you can remove Fairy Fire from this prepared spell list already. We can remove Daylight, we can remove Ice Knife, Thunder Wave, and here we want to have Plant Growth, most importantly, Moonbeam. Nice spell, can be hit metal, it's Constitution saving throw, and if enemy got metal weapon or armor, they will glow red hot and force the wearer to let go this weapon or armor. Very cool spell to have, it's nice debuffing spell. And I would say like any spell you like can work. If you want strong spell, go for Cold Lighting, of course it's just very cool and strong spell, and in my opinion, it's just strongest spell from level 3. Sometimes you need it, but if you're playing controlling stuff, yeah, it's not like controlling stuff, it's damaging stuff. But we kinda got everything we need right now at level 5, and we're finishing with level 6. Level 6, that's where we get in this fungal infestation. So from level 6, Spore Druid is really Zombie Lord, becoming Zombie Lord, and can make this fungal infestation with a reaction. So he can summon this humanoid corpses from beast or humanoids. So basically you're raising this like fungal zombies, your mini mushroom friends. For spells, pick whatever. Some protections can work really nicely, and yeah, like lesser restoration to cure poison disease works really nice. Especially on Tactician, you will be poisoned deceased a lot of time. Next up, we basically finishing our Druid and we're switching to our Necromancer. What we giving up when we stopping with Druid? If you're going with Druid on level 7, you get this Conjurer Minor Elemental and Conjurer Woodland Being. So basically you're getting a lot more elemental spells. But if you want to make like really strongest undead army, you need to go and switch into Necromancer. If you want to make like optimal playthrough build, I would suggest going like to level 10 maybe with Spore Druid, with just completely Spore Druid, and then you respec at around level 10, level 11, something like this, or even at level 12. You can get level 12 at the start of the Act 3, almost at the start, and basically you will play all Act 3 with this complete build of level 12. But we can go and switch into Wizard right now. But just before I'm showing you full like build item build, let me explain how you can play it and what we have over here right now at like middle stages of the game. So we got our cantrip roll, we got turn whip to pull targets to ourselves, we got poison spray to attack them from nearby position, and it's starting to do really nice damage, 2d12 damage, and that's cool. And at this levels you already can have 20 wisdom, so your like spell difficulty class will be really high, around 16 or even 17, 18. It's hard to negotiate this damage. Bone Chill again, 2d8 with disadvantage on attack rolls against undead, very nice cantrip. Next up we got this Entangle, so it's like entangling zone if enemies got high strength, as I told you, low strength, sorry. Draw magic, if you're playing draw, you can go with draw fairy fire, and if you're fighting against humanoids, you can go with hold person to hold them and inflict a lot of damage to them. Next up, we got a row of concentration zoning spells. So if you don't need to like disable targets or get advantage on attack rolls, and you want to just disable some area, Spike Growth require you concentration, so basically you cast it like that, and it creates difficult terrain. You can use your Thorn Whip to pull targets, and this will pull targets for some distance, and targets will receive a lot of damage when they travel in this distance. Additionally, you can use Plant Growth to make it harder to leave this area, so you can cast it on almost on top of it, and it will create hard to walk area with low movement speed for enemies, or just make a lot more zones. So coolest part, that Plant Growth doesn't require you concentration, and it's creating the zone for 10 turns. So basically you can even use your action to cast it every turn and create the area full of flowers. It's hard to navigate on, and it requires no concentration, so it's like a zoning spell. And last but not least, again, it's damaging spell. It's a low area of effect. As you can see, circle is really narrow, not really high circle. But damage is nice, you can upcast it to level 3, so it's doing 3 to 30 damage. And when you cast it, you need to concentrate on this stuff, but you can just go and change position of this stuff every turn. It will require your action, but it's like small zoning tool too. So why not to have this stuff? And you of course can combine this stuff with your zombies. So how this works, basically you summon your zombies, and we got this animate death spell from our Spore Druid. And what we can do, we can go animate our zombie. You can animate zombie or skeleton. I would suggest going with zombies, it's like melee units but a lot more fun. And just animate your zombie. Now when target standing in the circle of the moon, or how this called, yeah, moonbeam, and he's standing nearby a zombie, for example, you cast it like this. Now he need to decide, he want to go away from the zombie or he want to attack the zombie, for example. If he go away from the zombie, he will be inflicted with opportunity attack from zombie and possibly will be dead. If he stay in the circle, he will be dead because circle will attack him. It works like this. And again, from Druid you got this blindness, level 2 spell. From Circle of the Spore Druid, you can inflict blindness on enemies, and again attack rolls against these targets will have advantage, and he will have disadvantage target. So that works really nice if you cast it on enemies, and your zombies will have advantage on attacks, because zombies is not like incredibly good at striking targets, but they got 16 strength, it's not really bad. So that's our combinations. Of course, we doing symbiotic entity from the start of the day. We having nice, pretty nice like health pool, 24 hit points. It's pretty reasonable and you can manage to keep them. And while you're keeping them, you can do a lot of stuff. And of course, don't forget you can use the fungal infestation to reanimate these creatures to make these fungal zombies. So let's see him in the battle and I will show you full build of items. So what you're doing in a fight, basically you want to start from controlling and zoning. You decide what enemy you're facing, And for example, we're facing fiends, so we can't use hold person on these guys. They're flying, so spike grows, and for example, plant growth is not an option too. But if they're not flying, you cast it something like that. So you cast it so your enemies can't go behind. If he go in like this direction, if he try to go, he need to grow and travel on spike growth. And it will be hard for him, and next turn you can go and jump with your zombies on this area and basically destroy him later. So in these situations you need to decide, does your enemies have some metal armor? You can cast this metal armor so they will drop their weapons, or will have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. That's nice stuff too. And when they get in this disadvantage on ability checks, it means it's a lot easier for you to shove them. So again, you can use spike growth, next turn you can use hit meter, then you can just go and shove them with bonus action, and you will have a lot more chance to shove. Right now we got 55% chance, with advantage it will be around 70%. Of course we can use Moonbeam, as I told you, and don't forget you can use your reaction to inflict Hail of Spores. It will use your reaction, it will make damage, and it will do 2d6 damage, so from 2 to 12 damage. Pretty nice too if you want to inflict this damage, or you can use Fungal Infestation if you see some targets that can be reanimated. For example, this target can be reanimated, let's go to him, and you can do even more zombies in a fight. So you got a lot more zombies, a lot more fungal mini, like fungi friends. And these mushroom friends can inflict attacks on enemies and create a lot more zombies, and as you can see, these newborn zombies even stronger than your fungal zombies. That's like craziest part. They will act on their own, so they will do whatever they want. And cool spells to have, of course, is Fairy Fire from Drow or Keep It from Druid. And when you keep it, your zombies will get advantage on attack rolls. Right now we got 95% chance against these imps, against targets with higher armor class. Imps got only 7, so it's really low. But against targets with high armor class, you need to have advantage. So cast it, but not cast on your zombies. So cast it carefully, don't cast on your allies. And basically when you cast it, if it's successful, as you can see it's successful, Fairy Fire active, your zombies will have advantage on attack rolls. So now we got almost 100% chance to hit. So we got one newborn zombie, and we will have one more newborn zombie. And let's not slow down, and let me show you what you can do after. Newborn zombies will take damage. Every turn, every 6 seconds, they will take 1 necrotic damage. That's kinda limits them to 1 fight, or just to a lot of fights, but you need to make them in quick succession. So just go into the next fight as soon as possible. So optimization and item build. There's our items. Exact positions where you can find these items will be in pinned comment. So to actually focus on your zombies and your undeads, I would suggest going with Circle of Bones. Your light undeads within 6 meters are resistant to bludgeoning, slashing and piercing damage, and there's a lot of these types of damage. Basically every non-mage person will inflict this damage to you, and when zombies is resistant to this type of damage, this makes them a lot harder to kill. And zombies don't have a lot of hit points. For example, our fungal zombies got only 9 health. So that's not cool, but when they're resistant, they can take around 18 damage and not be dead. So that's like cool part over here. So 17 damage won't kill the zombies if you got this stuff. And 17 damage is really high number actually. It's a really high number. So this Circle of Bones will work. Additionally, it will give you animate death spell, and you can do it 1 time per long rest. So basically you can use animate death without expanding spell slots. So cool stuff. And you can get it in the end of Act 2, around the end of Act 2, or in the middle actually. You can get it in the middle easily. Next up, Armor of Spore Keeper. It's our late game armor. Before late game, just wear any armor that have light or medium proficiency, and basically get as high armor class as possible. So with this armor, what it's doing basically, when we got this symbiotic entity on ourselves, we will get additional spores with bonus actions and actions. These spores will do damage and make enemies be fundal, or poison them. So there's like poison fumes, can create poison fumes over here, for example. That's like cool action. But most important part of this armor, in my opinion, is this cast spores. So you can cast it, and for one turn, basically it stands for 2 turns. Every creature that's entering this cloud getting cast effect, and cast effect without debuff. So for first few turns, you can basically cast this stuff and go through this area with you and your zombies doing this crazy dance. And when you're going through this area, everyone got cast, and this means we got 2 actions for 1 turn. And on the next turn, we can go through the spores again. And this means basically for first few turns, you can do around 4 actions with every creature you have. This means first few turns will be deadly for your enemies, and you can basically cast it with bonus action and start your fight with plant growth plus spike growth, with any basically combination you wish to do with your spells. And your zombies will do 2 attacks instead of 1, so it's easy to start fight with snowballing your army of your mini zombies, zombie kids, and other stuff. So that's like greatest armor in my opinion for this type of play. Next up, Mantle. I will go with Mantle of Defense that you can get in Act 2 from Trader, or Mantle of Holy Warrior. It's like late game stuff. This will give you ability to cast this Crusader Mantle, and basically all nearby allies will start to do additional 1d4 radiant damage. Okay, we can go with high armor class, for example, Kitteric Shield will work, because on most of our items we want to have this spell save difficulty class. Spell save DC gives us a basically high chance to cast our spells, and when you're going for a lot of spells that require targets to make and succeed on difficulty class, you need this as high as possible, and we can go with higher armor class with Kitteric Shield, for example. You will find it from Kitteric turn. When you kill him, it will work and it will make your like more tankier version of yourself. Or there's another version that you can go with. You can go with double quarterstaffs that you will find in Act 3. So before Act 3, before finishing Act 3, before you find in these quarterstaffs, you can go with, for example, a shield and just any weapon you see. Some weapons will have this difficulty class function, so you can definitely get this stuff. And next up, you can finish with dual wielding of this awesome stuffs like Despair of Adhatla and Marker Cashier. It's hard to pronounce, sorry, but somehow I can't equip them right now. I don't know why. They should be equipable in 2 hands, but wherever. Most importantly, you want to have this Marker Kishkir and, for example, a shield. This will work just as nice. And from Marker Kishkir, you will cast on yourself Cataclysm, protection from poison, and this will give you ability to cast Hunger of Hader, very nice concentration spell that's doing this area of darkness with damaging of cold and acid damage, very nice stuff. Melf's Acid Arrow is nice stuff too. But again, I'm not sure it's working correctly because I just spawned this stuff, so that it's probably a little bit broken. If you look on description, you should probably could be able to cast Cloud Kill. And Cloud Kill is like really cool spell to have ability to cast without expending spell slots. So anyway, this stuff will work for our build. So next up, again, as I told you, you can probably go and focus on range damage. Any like hand crossbows will work. Make sure it's hand crossbow, not light crossbow, not like heavy crossbow or whatever. Hand crossbow can be equipped in 2 hands at the same time, and just like that you got your 2 crossbows basically, and they will just do a lot of damage from the range, and you can go and attack with them. And while you're attacking with crossbows, you got your shield to increase your armor class, just like that. So for our gloves, you can find it easily again in the Act 1.5, I call it. It will increase your dexterity up to 18, and boots of striding. You basically can pick whatever boots you like, best boots you probably want to have. But these boots give you momentum for 1 turn when you casting spells that require concentration, and most of our spells will require concentration. That's how this works. So next up, Amulet of Devote. It could be used. It giving us additional +2 to spell save difficulty class. And this increases our spell difficulty class just by a lot of a lot. But that's pretty late game. Amulet, you can have it, but in early game you can go with Necklace of Elemental Augmentation that will give you ability to add spellcasting damage modifier to your cantrips. That's doing basically every type of damage, so acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder damage. For our rings, again, pick whatever ring you like. Before late game, in the late game you can find this stuff. You can find ring of free action and ring Varnished ring, basically. What you get here, this will ignore effects of difficult terrain, so basically you can cast this spike growth, difficult terrains, and you won't be affected by them, you can freely move around them. And Varnished ring will give you paralyzing ray, awesome spell that I will show you in a minute. So let's finish our build first, and then I will show you finished version. So because we got this gloves that gives us 18 dexterity, we don't need dexterity, we can basically dump it. And you got two options. First option will be sticking with basically these rules, and you get instead 16 intelligence, just like that. And then you can add +2 to your strength or charisma, whatever you like. I suggest strength to be able just to jump and do some cool stuff. But instead you can make like fully super balanced character, but you will lose your like zombie proficiency. So I will show you just in a second how to do it. Let's finish up with something like that, and basically you can add +1 to whatever skill you want. So your finished stats will look something like this: 17 wisdom, like 16 constitution, 12 into strength, 12 charisma. So you know druid levels, let's go into wizard levels. With wizard, pick cantrips that's doing damage like fire, shock, rave, frost damage, nice cantrips. Wizard spells, I recommend sticking with some like exploration stuff for wizard at the first level, so just pick everything you possibly can, like Disguise Self, Feather Fall, Enhance Sleep, and some stuff to finish off zombie work. So Magic Missile or like Burning Hands can work, and some disable stuff like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, very nice stuff. Prepared spells, we can't prepare too much right now, but I will explain you in a second why and how we can go around this stuff. Again, if you go with exactly this item build, you need to have like low strength, low charisma and high intelligence, around 14 intelligence, so you can at least prepare some wizard spells. On second level you go with Necromancy subclass, and again that's why we want a lot more levels in Necromancy than just 2 levels, for example. Necromancy subclass giving us only one cool ability at the second level. It's ability to regain hit points equal to twice spell slot level used. So basically, if we kill like enemies with spells, we recover some hit points. That's it. That's basically all you will get from Necromancy subclass. And that's not too much, you're not getting additional zombies or whatever. That's why we continue our journey with basically wizard, and we need 6 levels in wizard. Next up, wizard spells on level 9 with wizard level 3. We get an enlarge, reduce, it's like most importantly. And again, it's like most important spell to have. You can have Misty Step just to be able to reposition yourself. If you want like dot spells, Phantasmal Force will work. So level 10, wizard level 4, we get in ourselves additional cantrip, pick whatever you like, we don't care too much. So Misty Step, that's what we don't have right now. And some exploration stuff. See invisibility, like Arcane Lock or Knock, stuff for exploration. And disabling stuff like Web, works really cool. So for final feat we will get at level 10, and we want to go to Warcaster. We already got all attributes to the place we want them to be. So Warcaster will give us ability to have advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. That's it, that's all we need. So next up, level 11 gives us ability to get spells from level 3. We want to have Haste and Hypnotic Pattern. And from here we want to have 2 spells. So we can have Hypnotic Pattern, but I don't like it too much. So it lasts only for 2 turns, it requires concentration, and it's a wisdom saving throw. So sometimes it's easy to negotiate the spell while being really large radius. It's not worth it too much always. That's why I like to take slow instead. It's wisdom saving throw 2, but it's slowing down enemies by a ton. And when they slowed down, they can't get to you, while your allies can get to them really easily. And another stuff is Glyph of Warding, very nice like zoning spell, and you will need it too. And we're finishing with Wizard at level 6. And that's our main level when our build finally finished. So we're getting these undead trials. Now we can create additional undeads from this create undead future, from animated dead. And most importantly, they will have additional hit points equal to our wizard level and our proficiency bonus. So our summons is finally worth it. Final spells could be haste, could be hypnotic pattern if you like to do some damage. Vampiric touch can work, but it will require concentration too, so a lot of good spells require concentration. So let's get our build working. I just remove all cantrips. Of course we can use cantrips because we got this awesome ring, or like whatever, this is necklace for example, that will add our spellcasting modifier to our cantrips. And our spellcasting modifier is wisdom, so we got +5 from wisdom to damage of our cantrips. Flat +5 is very cool, but we switch to late game build. So later stages of the game, basically what they give to us. First of all, of course, we can create more dead. So now animate dead can be upcasted up to level 5 at later stages of the game. And we can create ghouls. Ghouls is strong summons, but just for fun we will create zombies. Again, you can upcast it up to level 4. And on 3rd level you will create zombie. On 4th level you will create 3 zombies. And that's crazy stuff. So it's zombie battalion, as you can see, it's like different spells. So we create in zombie battalion, because we are Necromancer, we can create 4 zombies. And we can create them from 1 corpse, don't forget it. It's just discovered that you can use it 4 times on 1 corpse, and there we go, our zombie battalion. Then find some beasts or humanoids, use your fungal infestation, just like that. And basically our strategy going in the same. You can cast slow on your targets to make them slower. You can go disable them with web action, for example, so they will be enweb. So you know all these spells. Of course, you got this Phantasmal Force, and it will do 1d6 every turn if you keep in your concentration. Sometimes you just need it, but most of the time you just use another like zoning tools. So, coolest part, first of all, zombies will have right now 34 hit points, nice number. And when we are affected by symbiotic entity, we will get this haste of spores, as I told you, really cool stuff. And this is only bonus action. Additionally, all your zombies resistant to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage, and poison resistant. So, just crazy stuff. And as I told you, this Crusader's Mantle, let's check this out. Right now they are affected by this stuff, so if everything works correctly, he should just make additional damage with radiant damage. Somehow it's not working on my zombies, I don't know it's bug or not, or it's like intended, so zombies can't have this holy damage or whatever. But coolest part, again, you can change it, you can basically change this mental to basic mental that gives you +1 to armor, and that's it, and you will have around 20 armor at last levels. So most importantly, don't forget you can use this Hast Spores as bonus action, and just like that, as you can see, we cast it over here, and this zombie just attacked, so he should not be able to attack right now. But yeah, he is able right now because he got 2 actions instead of 1, so he can go and make attack. And there's like crazy Necromancer, actually, very good and strong Necromancer, Spore Druid Necromancer with zombie friends. So with high spell difficulty class, as you can see, it's easy to land this hold person on enemies, and your zombies will just start critical striking your enemies and creating a lot more mini zombies or just after that. Critical strikes is insane, so most like horrible and like most hardest part is to make your zombies finally attack enemies when they hold it. It's easy. Just like that, you're doing this stuff. Oh my, the zombie friends. So that's, in my opinion, like coolest combination we can do as this Spore Druid. You just count this Hast of Spores on some area in the front where you can actually go. So we can go some in this like area. You just go, aim it over here, cast it over here. Now everyone is hosted in this area and it was only bonus action, so right now we can go enter the spores and we get additional movement speed, so we can go and come close to our enemy easily if we need to. If we don't need to go and come close to our enemy, if you got this ring, you can go and paralyze your target. So basically any target can be paralyzed, but it requires wisdom saving throw. So target need to have a pretty low wisdom. He got 12, so let's try to attack. He saved, happens, totally fine. But again, we got a lot of actions, bonus actions. We can go and try entangle them, for example. And they saved again, but we can use our fungal zombies to make more zombies with reaction. That's what we do as a Spore Druid, basically. But even if enemies is not disabled, don't forget you can go enter these hasty spores for 2 turns, basically. So this turn we enter in these hasty spores, and we go in trying to attack our enemies 2 times with each zombie. If enemy disabled, it will be like super easy, but again, go into spores, get affected by haste, go to your enemy, try to attack 2 times. This haste only for 2 spells, for 2 turns, sorry. And that's crazy because zombies become a lot more faster, a lot more stronger doing 2 attacks in 1 turn. That's insane, that's just cool feature to have actually. And you basically can surround your targets with zombies and they won't be able to go and break through. While yourself you stand in these spores, you can do a lot more actions again. You can go and make this like hit metal stuff on your target, so let him drop his weapon is dropped, now he can attack only with hands. And that's concentration spell, so we need some not concentration spells like cantrips. So we got our cantrips, we can use them. We can make this magic missile to inflict more damage with action. We can attack with bonus action with our crossbow, or we can use hail of spores, whatever is like more chance to hit. So next turn you just go back to this hot spores and come back and again doing 2 attacks in 1 turn. That's our strategy, that's how you play this type of zombies. And when you're coming back to has spores, you basically host it and you can go and come back again. So as you can see, we got not really big travel distance. We can go like this, like that, and we're coming back with 2 attacks. So that's how you use this host spores. And yeah, host spores is not only for you and your allies, it's also for your enemies. So make sure to cast it so your enemies can't get and make use of it. And just like that we created a zombie from Commander Yalk. Now we can try entangling this dude and he will be just overwhelmed by zombies. So another good spell to concentrate on if you just want to increase power of your zombies is Enlarge or Reduce. This will make creature larger, we want to use it as enlarge of course, and it will add additional 1d4 damage to its attacks. And that's cool, we're basically making more harder to kill like big zombie, large zombie boss. It's looking fun. And yeah, one of the coolest wizard spells we will get in Web, of course. As you can see, every target right now is in Webbed, almost every target, and all attacks against them with advantage, they can't move, really strong stuff. And dexterity saving throw is really like not too common. So a lot of targets will struggle to get out of this web. So don't forget of course about slow level 3 spell, very cool, you can cast it on a lot of targets, just like that. You can pick all targets in a large area and they all will be slowed most of the time. And this will be hard for them to go and reach you yourself and run away from the zombies, while zombies will have really nice time attacking these dudes. So just like that you can start your zombie invasions really easy and fun. But what is our main problem right now with this build? How to fully optimize it? With the Circle of Bones you need to be nearby your allies, so nearby your allied zombies. When you're not nearby of them, they don't have this bonus to get this resistance basically. So how we can get around this stuff and what we can do with this? Because most of the time you don't want to just stand nearby your zombies. It's not like most smart idea to just stand nearby your zombies. You want to keep your concentration, stay away sometime and split your zombies so they can't be dead with just single like fireball or whatever. So in Act 1, when you find Blighted Village, And you will find this location in Blighted Village. It's basically X20, Y380, something like this. There will be 3 trolls, and you will need to just go and try destroy these trolls. I just make plain girls, casted my Glyph of Warding, and using my Halo of Spores with reaction to inflict more damage. They taking damage from spike growls, don't know what to do, and now my army of zombies coming into haste spores and making 2 actions to just destroy all of these trolls. Just like that. And the guy who named Lamp the Enlightened will have this awesome warped headband of intellect, and you can use this stuff. So how you can use this stuff? You can use it instead of your Circle of Bones from Act 2, you can use it from the start of Act 1. And when you get a new wizard multiclass, you already got the 17 intellect. So instead of 8 dumped intellect, you will have 17. Just like that, you can create a lot more spells as wizard, so you can get this magic missile and every spell you need from wizard. Hast, normal hast, you will focus on it for 10 turns. That can make any zombie deadly too. Very nice stuff. And last but not least, how to finish this build. Basically, you need to go and find these spell scrolls. So Conjure Elemental can be obtained in Act 2 in the traders in Moonlight Tower. Watch closely for this stuff, it costs a lot, but that's great spell. So with this spell, of course, you can cast and create elementals, very strong elementals. And because we are like level 6 wizard, level 6 druid, we got no chance to get it from our leveling ups, because you need level 10 to get these spells. But we only see level 6 wizard. But from spell scrolls, we can learn it really easily on any level we need. So all spells we need: Conjure Elemental to create a lot more stronger elementals, Conjure Minor Elemental from level 4, just a little bit less stronger, but still elementals, still very nice to have it in our army of summons to help our zombies fight. Edward's Black Tentacle, that's high level, level 4 control spell, very strong stuff. Otter's Irresistible Dance, single spell of level 6 that we will use. That's like disabling spell that will make your creature stuns, and every attacks will have advantage on this creature, and creature won't be able to do anything. Very strong high level spell. Coolest part about it is that it requires your concentration, it requires wisdom saving throws to target, but it's 100% cast rate on first level, so you can't miss this stuff. Another cool stuff is telekinesis. You will have concentration on this stuff and you can throw objects. Basically you can throw your zombies if you need, and cloud kill, very strong stuff too. So you need some money and some luck to find these spells, and when you get all these spells, your build will be finished. And that's it for our optimized Spore Druid Necromancer build. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen right now, like video where I beat Act 1 with only potatoes, or other cool builds on my channel. See you in the next videos, guys.